Good morning. Good morning. Happy Sunday, everybody. Happy Conference Championship Sunday. I can't believe this is really the last slate of the year. We just have the Super Bowl after this. I can't believe it goes. We say it every year, but it goes by faster every single year. It's actually crazy. But yeah, so we're here 2 games to talk about. We've got DFS, obviously, last multiple game DFS slate. We've got some betting to talk about. Jim, good morning. Let me know in the chat who tailed the bet I gave out yesterday, the parlay. First 3 legs winners. We're waiting. Hopefully the Eagles can come through, and then we'll see what happens in the 6:30 game. I don't know. Touchdowns can be weird. I don't know, but if we can at least get the Eagles through and give us a chance in this late game, I think that'd be fun. I think it was like 21-1, the parlay. So yeah, hopefully we can make some magic happen. I'll be posting my other bets after the stream here. We'll talk about them. Some of them I gave out throughout the week on the stream, like Terry McLaurin under 5.5 receptions. It's super juicy now. I would not bet it at -160. We took it. It was -140. That was a little better to stomach. I feel like -160 is a little crazy, so I wouldn't be betting that personally. Overall, though, like for my overall takes on the games, we'll talk higher level, and then I'll run through like the DFS slate and stuff. My thoughts have not changed on these 2 games. I still think we're gonna get Eagles Chiefs in the Super Bowl. I still like the Eagles to cover this number. I think they're gonna win by like 10 or more. Chiefs early in the week thought this was going to be like a nuclear, like biggest bet of the year. That's not going to be the case, I don't think, but I am going to be betting Kansas City. I think they're the better team, and a lot of people disagree with me there. I think most people would say Buffalo's the better team, but I just don't see it. I mean, we've talked through these points all week. I don't believe that the Bills defense is as good as some of the numbers say. And then if you kind of play with those numbers a little bit and look at the actual good teams that the Bills have played, they have not been very good defensively in those games. And yeah, I mean, I don't really bet against Patrick Mahomes. I'm not going out of my way to bet against Patrick Mahomes. So yeah. Overall, though, for props, okay, we'll break this down. We'll look at props and then touchdowns. I made video Philly D touchdown sprinkle. I don't hate that, Mitchell. Something has to give there. Philly's been very, very good at forcing turnovers. That's how they beat the Rams last week, was forcing turnovers. Washington's been very good at not turning the ball over. So yeah, I mean, something has to give. Either Washington's going to win that again and not turn the ball over, or Philly's going to turn them over. I definitely think that's a big storyline coming into that game. For props, though, in this early game, it's really the McLaurin prop that I like the most. I do think the matchup sets up well for Devonta Smith. So if you wanted to look at his receiving yards over or receiving yards ladder, I think you could do so. Good matchup for him regardless. So we kind of talked about this last week, how Jared Goff, very good against man coverage, and Washington was playing extremely heavy man coverage coming into that game. They came into that game completely scrapped that. Clearly they, saw something in that as well. So they came out, they played a lot of zone against Detroit, and, that helped them out. Devonta Smith is good against man and zone, so it really doesn't matter what they do today. He's very good, like, metrically against zone coverage, though, so I would actually prefer them to keep playing zone like they were last week. That would set up well for Devonta Smith. He's also, going to play primarily in the slot. Marshawn Lattimore will be dealing with A.J. Brown for the most part. Not that I really am scared of Marshawn Lattimore or worried about wide receiver cornerback matchups at this stage of the season, but it's just another factor, kind of favoring Devonta Smith, that he's not going to see that. And the Eagles did play the Saints earlier with Marshawn Lattimore active earlier this season, and Jalen Hurts did not really attack or go out of his way to throw at Marshawn Lattimore. So I think Devonta Smith from the Eagles side if I was looking for props, would be my favorite look. Touchdown picks in this game. I'm not gonna sit here and say like Saquon Barkley, like he's minus 250. We understand that. I still like AJ Brown, 6 touchdowns in 6 career games against Washington. Things definitely change with Lattimore, but that's not going to scare me off. So I still think it's time for AJ Brown to make his presence known and kind of do his thing today. So I like AJ Brown. I do like Zach Ertz from the Commanders, though. Using tight ends against Philly's been one way to counteract this very, very good defense that they have. For some reason, they have played one-on-one a lot against these tight ends. And we saw that last week. Tyler Higbee was one-on-one with CJ Gardner-Johnson. He kind of ran his little route, boom, caught the ball, fell in the end zone. If they try to one-on-one Zach Ertz with how much, like Washington has made a specific point to throw the ball to Zach Ertz in the red zone, like especially in recent weeks. He's been utilized super heavily inside the 20 and inside the 10. If we look at just overall, like he has 10 targets inside the 10-yard line this season. That's more than Travis Kelce, Tyreek Hill, Nico Collins. He missed some time though. So Terry McLaurin's only at 8. Like he has legitimate usage inside the 20, inside the 10. If we look at inside the 20, he has 21 targets. Again, that's more than George Kittle, Trey McBride, Tyreek Hill. It's among the league leaders. So they've made a point to go to him in the red zone. And I think schematically, it's one of the places you can attack Philly. So I do like Zach Ertz for a touchdown today as well. Leroy, good morning. Yeah, fly, Eagles, fly. We need the Eagles, especially with this bet, man. We need the Eagles bad. Give us a chance at the late game. So that's kind of my thoughts there. But I like Philly to cover in that one. In the later game, still like the Chiefs. Prop-wise, tough to really bet on the Chiefs running backs because we just don't know, who's going to get the majority of the workload. And it's unfortunate because I like targeting Buffalo with these pass-catching running backs. Like it's been one way to really beat them. And, I just don't know which running backs are going to be on the field. And so it makes it really tough to bet on. If you want to take some shots on, some receiving yards for these guys, whether it be Pacheco at 4.5, Kareem Hunt at 7.5, whatever, I definitely think there's some value there. Like Pacheco at 4.5, like he just needs one catch and he, can get 5 yards. So, that looks good to me. I just wish I knew how much he was going to be on the field. I love Xavier Worthy today. Not sure if I'd bet his receiving yards, but I like him to score a touchdown with how he's going to be involved in the game, catching. He'll probably get a carry or two. He's going to return kicks. So multiple facets of the game that he can contribute and try and get in the end zone. I like Xavier Worthy. I like James Cook from Buffalo. I mean, Josh Allen, obviously, but James Cook, I kind of brought it up in a TikTok earlier this week. James Cook still is like comfortably out carrying Josh Allen inside the 20 and inside the 10. So I know Josh Allen is fresh on everyone's mind because he took all of the, goal line stuff last week, but that could easily shift back and go to James Cook today. Pretty interested in him to score a touchdown. Do you like Eckler over 25 receiving yards? Yeah, so he's going to be a pretty popular DFS play, I think, with how the salaries worked out. He's at 5,300 on DraftKings. Probably going to be like the second or third highest owned running back on the slate. I don't hate it. Like theoretically, if they're trailing, you would expect him to get some usage. In that passing game, he did pretty decent against Detroit for, what his price was last week. If we look at Philly though, I mean, they've been decent against pass catching running backs. They're middle of the pack in like receptions allowed, middle of the pack in yards allowed as well. Actually towards the bottom half in yards allowed. So they've been pretty good against receiving backs out of the backfield. But if Washington does get down, you would expect him to have a decent role. Tough not to take Kelce over receiving yards again at 67.5. I mean, feels pretty automatic. I don't know. Like, we'll wait and see about DeAndre Hopkins. Like, he was not involved at all last week, was not even on the field a lot. I'm sure they got asked about that quite a bit in media this week. Maybe he'll play a bit more, but We talked about this on the stream this week. Like Andy Reid had an extra week to prepare for that game, and clearly DeAndre Hopkins was just not a big part of the game plan. So that doesn't inspire me, with a lot of confidence. So I'll probably be fading him. Even Marquise Brown, like 37.5 receiving yards, he could get that on, one catch, but it's kind of like it was basically just Kelsey and Worthy last week. Yeah, Mitchell, I hope he plays. I have not seen confirmation. I think I was under the impression that Cam Jurgens would be playing, but I have not seen any confirmation. Let's see here. Let me check Twitter. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's going to play Mitchell from what I'm seeing, but I guess we'll get confirmation a little bit before the game. I think Dallas Goedert. I just combined Dallas Goedert and Zach Ertz in one person. Dallas Goedert being active is big too. He actually does a lot, obviously, run blocking in the run game. Like he doesn't play on the line, but if he was out, that would have definitely scared me a little bit, I think. Because Washington, if you look, Washington's done very good against Saquon Barkley in these games. Like in terms of efficiency, he's just popped for a big run against them in both games. And that's kind of the name of the game. Like Philly's offensive line is so good, they're going to wear you down over the course of the game. And eventually, Saquon Barkley is going to break loose for a big run. But in terms of yards per carry and stuff, they've done very good at containing him for the vast majority of these games. They've just given up, big runs at times. But yeah. All right. DFS wise, looking like Patrick Mahomes is going to be the highest owned quarterback. He's only 6K. Josh Allen's up to 7,500. So I think that price tag on Josh Allen could keep his ownership down. I'm interested in him for tournaments. Mahomes, my favorite play. I don't think anyone will play Jalen Hurts just with what he's done recently, like the kind of public perception of him and what the passing offense has been doing. So could be some decent leverage off of Barkley there, but really focusing on the quarterbacks in the later two games. For running backs, everyone's going to start their teams with Saquon Barkley. I'm seeing projected ownership for him over 80%, which is, not surprising on a 2-game slate. I don't think, Melissa, I'm going to play Showdown. I don't think so. I think I'm just going to play my two teams for the 2-game slate. But yeah, so everyone's playing Barkley, and then you kind of have this group of mid-tier guys: Brian Robinson, Kareem Hunt, Austin Eckler, Isaiah Pacheco, and James Cook. James Cook's more expensive than, Eckler, Hunt, Robinson tier. He's another $1,000 more. I would assume a lot of people play Barkley and Eckler together. I would be comfortable pivoting to a Ty Johnson over Eckler. I mean, you're giving up quite a bit of projection, but I mean, we saw Ty Johnson won us a ton of money a few weeks ago at 1% ownership. He can get involved in the passing game. If this game starts going back and forth, I mean, he's a guy that could catch 3-4 balls. He can get in the end zone. He has a sneaky involvement in the red zone, which we've talked about a couple times. That's part of why I was on him against Denver. He gets in the red zone more than you think. And we've already seen kind of a lack of commitment to James Cook in the red zone last week. Josh Allen stole a couple touchdowns. Ray Davis stole one on the first drive. So I don't mind maybe a little pivot to Ty Johnson in tournaments. At receiver, Worthy's going to be super high owned, especially because everyone's playing Mahomes. So no problems with Worthy. I'll be playing him. Shakir. I like Devonta Smith over AJ Brown for the $1,000 in savings, I think, in the matchup. So those are my 3 favorites. If I play Worthy and Kelsey, I'm probably not going to triple stack, even though it's only a 2-game slate. I'm fine just not playing Hopkins, not playing Hollywood Brown, and just focusing on Worthy, Kelsey with Mahomes, and then maybe get some Bills runbacks. Keon Coleman at 3,700 looks like a pretty interesting play to me. Curtis Samuel at 3,500. Both those guys, are interesting plays that I think you can use both cash games and tournaments if you're going to play cash on a two gamer. Washington, I mean, I don't want to play McLaurin. I think they're going to send a ton of focus there, and he still should see pretty decent ownership on a two-game slate. So I'm going to be underweight McLaurin today. If you want to play Diami Brown or Zacchaeus, I think you can do that. Zacchaeus is pretty cheap, 3,900. Diami Brown's 44. Fine with the cheaper Washington receivers, but McLaurin, not someone I'm going to play today. At tight end, it's like Kelsey and Ertz for me. Like, not really interested in any Buffalo guys. Don't need to play Noah Gray, I don't think, on this slate unless you're going for a triple stack with Mahomes. But yeah, just those two. Defense, you can kind of just play whoever fits in with your team. Not a huge dissection of defense today. It's kind of just whoever fits in. Philly would be my favorite, though, if I could pick one, obviously. All right. I mean, that does it for the DFS slate. For touchdowns, like I said, Ertz and AJ Brown are my picks in the early game. Xavier Worthy is my favorite pick of the whole weekend. I really like him at 2-1 odds. Seems pretty good. And then Kelsey, I mean, you really can't argue with that, to be honest. Yeah, if you guys have any other questions, go ahead, tag me. There's only 2 games, so really can't build a first touchdown parlay. I did put one in with a bonus bet, and it was Worthy and Dallas Goedert. So if you guys want to sweat that out, let me see what it pays here. Dallas Goedert and Xavier Worthy. 233-1. So if you guys want to sweat this first touchdown parlay out, I put this in with a bonus bet, but just for fun. And then we'll be sweating out this big parlay we gave out yesterday. DraftKings' longest touchdown. Yeah, Jim. So people have been they've kind of hacked into that where you can take a 3-leg parlay. Even if your parlay loses, if you hit the guy that has the longest touchdown, you still get the bonus bet. So most people just pick 3 people. I would do Coleman, Worthy, and Devonta Smith. That'll be my three plays for longest. I'll probably put that in. I did hit. I hit that with Jameson Williams. It was only like a $30 bonus bet because everyone in the world took Jameson Williams, but it was pretty cool to win that at least. Mitchell, I think go to rollinginsights.com. There should be a link at the bottom of the webpage to get in. But yeah, good luck today with all your plays. My breakdowns are live for free. It's maxed at 3. Yeah, Jim, it can only be 3, and it could be any amount. I think the minimum is like $5, but you can't do more than 3. 3 is the cutoff, I'm pretty sure. So you can't like pick 6 guys or whatever, but you can do 3. Yeah, hopefully this bet wins. Good luck. I'll be live tomorrow to recap everything. If you guys have any other questions, you can tag me on Twitter or go join the Rolling Insights Discord. Yeah, Curtis Samuel paid out at 13K. That was crazy. That was crazy. But good luck today betting DFS. And yeah, see everybody tomorrow.